Good evening. Welcome to NDWG Democratic TV. Tonight, the past actions shape our future.
Mwariwe inzwa kuchema nikayedu yavapanguva takamira pamugano wera mangwana.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Before we start, I just encourage you to share, subscribe to this channel so that you reach more audience. So welcome to Champion Network TV in collaboration with the NDWG Global TV, where we amplify voices, shaping democracy and youth empowerment across Zimbabwe and beyond. I am your host, Meja, today. Today's conversation comes at a time not only for youth leadership, but for Zimbabwe's constitutional future. I am joined by a Zimbabwean philosopher, academic, and youth leader who has just been elected as the youth president of the National Democratic Working Group, Tauya Chinama. Tauya, congratulations for your newly elected as the president of the youth president of the National Democratic Working Group.
Thank you very much. And my slogan, when I was given this opportunity,
oh, thank you so much. So we have just stepped into this role at a time when Zimbabwe is facing significant constitutional debate, particularly around the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. Let me start here. What does this moment mean to you, both personally and politically?
Yeah, this to me, it means the betrayal of the suffering masses of Zimbabwe, those who are still alive and those who sacrificed their life during the liberation war struggle, because some of the things which are being reversed today, they are things which we say they are against the liberation struggle. So this is the betrayal of the first generation, the betrayal of the present generation, and the betrayal of the future generation. So as the present generation, we have a task, non-negotiable task, to fight and defend the gains of the revolution.
Thank you very much for that articulation. Viewers, we are having a conversation with Tauya Chinama, the newly elected youth president of the National Democratic Working Group. I just want to play you some video that gives you the perspective where he is coming from, a video from our founding members and what he has also said before we move on.
Statement dated 15 January 2025 calling for resistance and rejection to the Mnangagwa crusade to extend his presidential term of office to 2030 and beyond. We welcome the support of our position, which has been endorsed by the progressive war veterans led by Comrades Blessed Bombshell Geza and Knox Chivero. The messages being spelled out by both Geza and Chivero resonate with the National Democratic Working Group's position from the onset. We stand firm in a mutual solidarity with each other, and we reassure them that we stand together high and low in this people's democratic struggle. The position is amplified by Comrades Geza and Chivero is the position of the masses of our people who are eager to see the completion of the mass democratic revolution in Zimbabwe. The revolution is upon us, fellow compatriots. We urge all churches, students, civil society organizations, workers of our nation, and the downtrodden masses of our people to stand firm in support of our position and that of the progressive war veterans of the armed liberation struggle. Truly, the armed liberation struggle was a people's struggle, to struggle for justice, emancipation, and also democratic values. The time is now or never. Freedom of our people is at the core of our struggle. This is a non-negotiable position that we cannot trade with anything. We deserve better than the 2030 nonsense as a nation.
Right. We have heard the Dr. Zembe setting the stage. Right. Let me just bring you to this. For the benefit of the viewers, Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 has sparked national debate, especially around governance, accountability, and the future of democratic institutions. As a newly elected youth leader, how do you interpret the implication of this bill for young people in Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much, Bamija. This bill has a lot of implications. It's a pity that very few people understand this bill because this is a very long bill. It consists of 21 clauses which they want to amend from the Constitution. It's a pity people, they know of a few. And the implication of those clauses, they are actually degrading the country socially, politically, and economically. For example, socially and culturally, imagine the chiefs are going to be allowed to be partisan. That alone is an insult against our cultural heritage. The traditional leaders should remain non-partisan because they have people of different political persuasions under them. So if they allow the chiefs to be partisan, wow, even us people who are not from royal families, we can wake up saying, I also want to be Chief Serima. I'm from Serima. Or I want also to be Chief so-and-so, because they're allowed to participate, they're allowed to compete with us in the political space. So we also come and participate in their space of being, or that's the cultural space. So I think even all the chiefs should go against this bill because it's an insult to their legitimacy which they get from culture. So when the culture is destroyed, they don't have any legitimacy. We also saw how this same bill touches something to do with our security forces. We know the army is there to protect our interests, but we hear that the army should comply with the constitution, they should not defend. What that? So politically, they're eroding the role of the army. So even economically, you would find that a lot is being messed up. And the time we're given to debate this bill is less. That's why we are calling for a referendum. Not a single one. We are saying at least 2 referendums. So that is our position. And we are very clear on that one.
Thank you very much, Tauya, for such an emphatic explanation of the bill. And you said that there are 21 clauses. which clause actually gets to your bone, which you would want every young person to understand?
Yeah, especially the popular ones, for example, of extending the presidential term, of extending the term of the parliament, of extending the term of the councillors. That clause is unacceptable today, tomorrow, and even in the past. These people who are in office as we speak, they were voted on account that, though we have problems with how they were voted, on account that their term ends in 2028. So if they feel that they want to extend that term from 5 years to 7 years, they have to come back to us and convince us why do they want to do so. The argument which is being given, especially by the ruling party ZANU-PF, that they want Emerson Mnangagwa to finish whatever he has started. To be honest and frank with him and his party, we are not seeing any development. So anda kupedzisa nyika here kuiuraya. Hatina zvatiri kuona, our roads, death traps, our hospitals. We don't have hospitals anymore in this country. We have what we call prescription halls. You go there so that they can write a prescription for you so that you can go and buy those drugs from the pharmacies. Look at our schools. Everything is failing. Everything is at its lowest. Now I think our institutions are going to minus. They are no longer at zero. They are below zero. They are going to minus. So we don't know what they want to continue. Then also there is another issue where they want to take away the power from the people of voting, where they want to introduce a controversial, call it system, where they say the members of parliament should elect a president. People have died. There are people who are in the bushes, there are people who are in the mountains who died for one man, one vote. So we are saying to them, stop insulting people's sacrifices. One man, one vote is non-negotiable. It has to be there as it was before and the way it will be in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tafadwa. I know there've been this just ended the constitutional what did they call them, the consultations, and you went to one of these consultations. What was your experience on the ground?
Yes, I went to two of those consultations. The first one I attended the one at Aquatic Center in Chitungwiza, where I saw that we were watching a Blade match, and I said, no, maybe it was just something else. Then I went to the one at the sports center, where we actually saw that it was the way where I was sitting in the Bay 8. And majority of opposition people, they were in that bay. So I realized when the mic came to our bay, we realized that people that are not into the mood of giving us a chance. What I simply did, because I anticipated this, so I entered the City Sports Center with a cut box and a red pen. So while the mic was still roving and hearing whatever they say, I wrote the other side of that card box to say Tipeiwo Mkana. Then the other side of the other box, I wrote it no to 2030. So I went onto the floor, raising my card box. I showed all the MPs, they can testify. The other side, it was written not 2030. The other side, it was written Tipeiwo Mkana. We wanted a chance to speak. So when I was done moving around, I then tried to go closer to the mic. Unfortunately, some of the people didn't see me. When I went closer to the mic, I was grabbed by, I think, 4 or 5 guys whom I suspect that they were ZANU-PF thugs. So they hold me, they made me to fall down. Then I wake up fast. And then that is the time I left. Soon after I left, that is when the noise started of Koutat being harassed and so on and so on. So we realized that, no, this is sort of a charade. Soon after leaving the Sixth Sports Center, I then had immediately, I called the Chief Facilitator, Honorable Job Scala, and our Treasurer General to have an urgent meeting, which I told them that this is not a consultation process. These are somehow ZANU-PF rallies, and they would agree with me. And soon after that, you saw they said we are disengaging from this process, and the DCP said the same, the CDF said the same, the ISO said the same, and the NCA said the same. So in other words, we all agree, and our experience is that that was not a consultation, that was a delayed march, which actually didn't achieve what they wanted to achieve, because we managed to expose them.
All right, let's hear you when, because you actually recorded, so that people have got evidence to say you did demonstrate. Let's hear you soon after your demonstration.
Kwatati tichitaura maonero edu maringe neconstitutional amendment bill number 3. Zvataona indiri kutaura ndakamiririra vechidiki veNational Democratic Working Group. Zvataona paya paya tiri kuitwa inonzi theatrics. Vanhu vanga vachitaura, vanhu vane vagara vakadzvarwa, asi iniso munhu ari worried nyaya dzacho. Ndaona izvo zvaitika, ndaita one man demo nhasi ndichitaura kuti tipewo mukana no to 2030. Saka isusu tiri kuti aiwa, kune vanhu vakarwa hondo vachirwira one man one vote, ende hatisi kuda kuti ibve. Tiri kuti handei kureferendum. Referendum ndio inopa munhu wese mukana wokutaura, nokuti uko kuCity Sports Center tatiri over 5,000 haugoni kupa vanhu over 5,000 mukana wokutaura mu1 hour. But referendum, yes or no, unogona kuwana mukana wokuti utaure maonero ako. Saka tiri kuti no to constitutional amendment bill number 3, handei kureferendum. Ndatenda. Yeah. Tiri panyaya yekupikisa constitutional amendment bill number 3, uko kwandaita one man demo neplacard rangu ranga rakanyorwa kuseri kuti tipewo mukana, kumwe kuseri kwakanyorwa kunzi no to 2030. Pandainda padhuze nemike, ndabatwa nemathags andofungira kuti ndeye ZANU-PF, akandidonhedzera pasi. Asi sewechidiki ane simba asiri kuda kuona constitutional amendment bill number 3 ichipasa, ndakwanisa kupukunyuka mumaoko avo, vanditsunya zvese izvi. Asi ndapukunyuka, ezvino ndiri safe maZimbabweans. Ndosaka ndiri kurekodha izvi, ndiri kuti no to constitutional amendment bill number 3. Ndakamiririra mayouth eNational Democratic Working Group. Handei kureferendum. Referendum first. Zvimwe zvese izvi matakanana, makatuni. Ndatenda.
Right, that has been Tauya doing a one-man demo in the hall there. And now let's go back. We are now rewinding, Tauya. Let's take back. Your journey began with the Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace during your high school years. How did that early exposure to justice and civic engagement shape your response to issues like constitutional reform?
Thank you very much. My first exposure to governance issues, as you said, was in 2010 when I was doing my 2010 and 2011 when I was doing my A-level studies deep in the role of good in Serima. And I get in contact with Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace. And remember, 2010, 2011, it was after the disturbances of 2008, of that violent election. So CCJP was there facilitating a process of peace and reconciliation, trying to reconcile people, trying to let people forgive each other. So I was introduced and I was interested. And guess what? This experience touches also one of the clauses in the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. There is an issue where Gender Commission and the National Commission for Peace and Reconciliation wants to be collapsed into the Human Rights Commission. Imagine, there is no peace, there is no reconciliation, and they want to collapse it. And we just saw recently how Jessima Jome has been moved from the chairperson of the Human Rights Commission after she said the truth about the consultation. She agrees with us. We actually say thank you to her for such boldness. Well, then we come back to my process. After high school, I went to learn into diaspora, where I did the philosophical studies, and I was in touch with theoretical knowledge of politics and so on. Upon coming back to Zimbabwe, I then joined active politics as an opposition person. And if you check records, for those who go online, you find that I was a parliamentary candidate in 2018 in Good West. Yes, I didn't win, but the experience gave me a lot of knowledge on how to fight the evil system. Then I moved from there. Then I was involved in MDC Alliance shortly. Then in 2023, I was the presidential election agent for Good West constituents, and we had our problems of what have happened. Then when National Democratic Working Group was formed, I joined the National Democratic Working Group youth section, and before assuming the position I have now as the youth president, I was the spokesperson. So I moved from one responsibility to the other. So in short, this is how I became to be where I am today. I don't want to dwell much on my political history, because our war, our struggle is against Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. And I feel that if I don't mention what I'm about to mention, and then data injustice, we have one of our young people, Anonzi Takunda Muka. He was suspended, then later on expelled from MSU, but later on he was reinstated. So the suspension he is serving is about to end in August. But unfortunately, last week he was assaulted by ZANU-PF thugs in Waterfalls. Then he went to report in the evening. Then he was asked to come the following morning. The following morning, he found someone with a counter a report where he was said that he maliciously damaged someone's property. Then he was arrested. For the past 3 days, I have been attending his court session at Mbare Magistrate Court. A day before yesterday, he didn't come to court. His father was there. Another day, the second day, he didn't come. And I was so moved because I saw his father crying. Then yesterday, when he entered the court, he was denied bail on account that he can't be given a bail because his crime is malicious damage of property worth $10. Imagine you deny a person a bail on account that he destroyed a property which worth $10. What is $10? And they say it is a flight risk. What madness! Do you think a person can be a flight risk to run away from $10? And we know why he's being persecuted. He also recorded one of the videos, like the ones I recorded when he was in Weather is from Weather. He said, I'm a rural young person who is hopeful, who don't want to see Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 succeeding. So I'm saying, as young people, we are saying free Takunda Muka. He committed no crime. We know they are cooking up charges. So our hearts is with him. And we know everyone who says no to 2030, they try to cook charges for you. But we are not afraid of being arrested. We are not afraid of being persecuted, because we know what we are fighting for with the sacrifice. We remember those who went to the struggle for liberations of our country. They were at our age. So it is our duty to continue the liberation struggle. The liberation struggle when we get independence in 1980, we treated it as an event, but it is a process. We should continue. Even if you listen to what Dr. Zembe said, National Democratic Working Group is actually continuing the liberation struggle. So we have non-negotiable duty to continue. We shall sanguinely defend the interests of our country. We shall sanguinely defend our constitution. We know we are going to be persecuted, we are going to be tortured, but we are in for it.
Thank you very much, and we are sorry for Takunda, what he has gone through. I hope he will get justice soon. I think there's one thing that we've mentioned, that you were at one point a polling agent in Gutu West. Just in a short, can you explain to the young people why it is important or why being a polling agent is important when it comes to safeguarding the vote?
Thank you very much. Why being an agent is very important is this. Remember, our elections in Zimbabwe are polling station based. So we should defend the votes. And besides defending the vote, also on the polling day, we should also be always on the ground, because what we have realized, this system normally rigs the election before the date for election. What they rig is the environment which rigs an election. There's too much terror. There's too much intimidation. So it's us as young people, we should be on the ground to counter that narrative of terror, because there's no way I can be told we'll beat you. I have to. We are not encouraging violence, but Vamisha, Isus atina kubata mazai. We have a right to defend ourselves when attacked. We have a right to defend our supporters when attacked. We have the right to defend the old people in rural areas when they are intimidated. So we are not saying we are not going to be aggressive, but let us assure whoever wants to attack us that we have the right to defend ourselves. We have this guy, what is his name of, say, Zimbabwe, anti-presidential insult whatsoever. That guy who calls himself a pastor. I take this opportunity to warn him. We are going to say what we want about Emerson Mnangagwa because he's a public official. We can't be told, we can't criticize him. If Emerson Mnangagwa can't stand our criticism, a solution is there. Let him resign. As long as he is there, we shall challenge him, and we don't fear that group which calls itself ZAPI. We are going to confront them. If they beat us, we are going to defend ourselves. If they beat our mothers, we are going to defend our mothers. If they beat our grandmothers, we are going to defend our grandmothers. So we are in for it. So the only thing they can silence us is either to send us to prison or to send us to the grave. But sending us to the prison is very dangerous, because we might end up breaking those prisons, like what we saw in the French Revolution, the Bastille, the storming of Bastille, and so on. So what they have to do, probably they have to build more prisons, and they create more space for graveyards, because as long we are walking, we are not going to allow them. It's better we die than to live under an oppressive system. When I say this, we mean it. We mean it. And I'm saying this on behalf of all young people who agree with me, who say enough is enough.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Fadwa. I think you have answered a couple of questions that were coming soon, but I will ask them anyway. And for those watching us, if you have got any questions for Tauya, put them in the chat box. We will pose it to him so that he can respond, so that I may not be the only one who is asking him questions. We have got those watching us online on YouTube, either on Champion Network TV or NDWG Global TV. Put your questions, your comments in the chat box. It encourages us to know that you are engaging. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this broadcast with your friends, so that we reach more people, so that especially the young people can hear what their leader is saying. I come back to you, Tauya. One of the biggest criticism around constitutional reform is that young people often feel excluded from the process. How will you ensure that youth voices are not only heard, but actually influence decisions around issues like the constitutional amendment bill number 3?
Thank you very much. Since my assumption of youth presidents in the National Democratic Working Group, that is just a week ago, I have already started to engage fellow youths from other like-minded organizations. I wanted to preempt whatever we discussed and whatever we agreed, but we have one voice, and where we are going, I want to assure you, Vamija, we shall decide what should be done in this country. Remember, the youth are 67% of the Zimbabwean population, and all those guys who are not youth shall take instructions from us, because we are now owning the struggle. We are taking the struggle upon our shoulders. So it is not only the youth from National Democratic Working Group who are doing this, even the youth from CDF, the youth from DCP, the youth from NCA, the youth from ISO, the youth from ZAP, the youth from, and interestingly, even some youth from ZANPF, they are saying, no, enough is enough. So our reach has gone beyond the confines of opposition and civil society. We have people within the ruling party who are engaging us privately, who are saying, we are with you. Please push. So our opposition to the constitutional amendment bill is serious to the extent that when we start to do action, because we are going to be people of action, we are not going to end by addressing the media only. We are going to implement so many programs. We are protected by the Constitution to do whatever action we want to do, as long it is peaceful and we are delivering the message successful to where it is intended. So that's why we are defending the Constitution, because the Constitution guarantees us and gives us the rights to do whatever we think is necessary to guard against the betrayal of Zimbabwean interests, the betrayal of liberation struggle gains. So, Vamija, kwataa kuyenda. Isusu Seve Chidiki, we consider that we have won this war against KB3. So we are saying, those who want to get into elections in 2028, don't stop preparing. Elections are there in 2028. There is no way this country will be ruled without an election beyond 2028. So I want to assure Zimbabweans, elections are coming. Don't listen to the propaganda. I know ZANPF is doing whatever they want to do. Kuzama, they're putting some money, trying to influence what boss. Pandataura kuti tine vanhu muzanu vari kuti bheka. Remember, ZANPF payakafomwa in 1987, because before there was PF ZAP and ZAN. It was a marriage between two parties of different ideologies, ZAP communism, ZAN socialism. So their bedrock is communism and socialism. But chakuitika iye zvino, with the coming of Rigananda, ZANU-PF has become too capitalist. So which means there is an ideological fight within. Those who want the ZANU, which is based on communism and socialism, they're saying, no, we can't agree to Emerson to do whatever he wants to do. Then there is capitalists, and you know capitalists, what they do is to oppress the poor masses. So ichi chunichi hondoi takaiwina esindebele vati amandla. Then those who respond with ngawetu.
This is quite an interesting conversation, Tauya. I feel privileged to be talking to you, and I think you've mentioned that the youth are more than 67%, and there's a viewer who have made a comment for you to see. Andrew Moyo is saying, "Thank you, Youth President. Together we can. Together we will." That's quite an encouraging comment from those watching us on YouTube, and those who are still watching. We invite your comment. We invite your questions, so that you have got the Youth President with us in the studio. He has dedicated this time to be there for you. Now, I'm coming back, Tauya. I'm coming from your philosophical standpoint. You are a philosopher by training, with a strong academic grounding in human rights. I was reading one of your papers that you wrote about the reflection about jihadi and all that kind of thing. And from a philosophical standpoint, what would guide constitutional change? Power necessary, or the will of the people? Sorry. Yeah, okay, go on.
Thank you very much for mentioning one of my latest publications, which I made this year. Of course, you know, I am an academic, and so I publish the academic peer-reviewed paper. So I write something, then I implement it. So just you mentioned about jihad. Jihad simply means struggle against evil, struggle against injustice. So what Zimbabweans are doing, if we are to look at it from an Islamic point of view, it's a jihadi. They are fighting against an injustice. They are fighting against evil. So it's a responsibility of everyone, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your organization or whatsoever. Because what should unite us here, if I'm to treat it mathematically, you know, fractions, they have numerators and denominators. The denominator is that we are all Zimbabweans. The fact of saying you are National Democratic Working Group, you are CDF, you are DCP, you are ZANU-PF, you whatsoever, that one is an enumerator. But the common thing is that we are all Zimbabweans, and we should defend the interests of Zimbabweans. Why should a single political party have a resolution which they want to force on people? Let me take you back to the ZANU-PF conference of 2 years ago when they were in Bulawayo. Patrick Chinamasa made it clear that it is impossible for Emerson Mnangagwa to go up to 2030. He said for that to be possible, we want at least 2 referendums. I don't know whatever happened. Maybe they engaged Jonathan Moyo, the exiled professor, and he told them that it's possible. It's impossible. I don't know what Ziyambi is smoking, because you can't bring such a bill to the parliament. And look, I remember you mentioned that my activism started with the Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace. 3 weeks ago, I visited the Synod House, that is the offices for Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops Conference, and I met few officials there, especially related to Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace. They were also surprised about whatever happening. And remember, they wrote a pastoral letter at the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference denying this. So the churches are saying no. The civil society is saying no. The opposition is saying no. Part of ZANU-PF is saying no. So how can this be successful? So we are saying everyone, majority of us, if those who are saying yes, let us, I said, let us take it mathematically. Those who are saying yes probably is 1 out of 10. Those who are saying no is 9 out of 10. 10 is our denominator that is being Zimbabwe. So that we can't allow the 1/10 of the country to rule over the 9/10 of the country. Remember the greatest or the most prominent principle of democracy, the rule by majority, not the rule by the minority. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going up the ladder. We are going up the ladder. Now we are coming to accountability. Let me ask you directly. When leaders introduce constitutional changes that are viewed as controversial, what responsibility do youth leaders like yourself have? Is it to support, to change, or to mediate?
But as the leaders, we should understand one thing: our power comes from the people. So accountability is very, very important. Remember, I told you, Amisha, that my slogan of assuming the office of the president of the youth movement was a servant to all and a master to none. Leaders should not tell people what to do, but people should tell leaders what to do. And if leaders fail to implement what they have been told to do, they should be held accountable, and they should be actually, if they go on failing to deliver, they should actually be recalled or impeached. So, as we speak, the parliament of Zimbabwe should impeach Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa on account that he have shown that he want to go against the constitution. That is enough reason for him to be impeached. So if the members of parliament fail to impeach the president, I think us as masses, we should actually impeach, or we should actually recall those members of parliament, because they're not representing us. So our action, we don't have the access to parliament, but we have the access to the streets and other avenues. So we are saying as leaders should know that they should report back to their masters and the suffering masses of our country. These are our masters, whether you're in ruling party or you're in opposition, because we don't want to replace a ZANU-PF with a worse ZANU-PF. So we are saying even us leaders in the civil society, in the opposition, in the churches, wherever, we should be accountable. So accountability is non-negotiable to every leader.
Thank you very much, and that's such a powerful contribution. And you were actually saying the church is against this, the civic society, the opposition, and even a greater portion of the ZANU-PF are against this. And those who are against, we are saying we are 9 out of 10. Those watching us online, give us your views. Do you agree with Tauya, or do you disagree with him? If you disagree, what are your reasons? If you agree, what are your reasons? We want your comments in the comment section. Now we are tapping down towards our end, but I just want you to give a vision forward. Looking ahead, what role do you see the National Democratic Youth Movement playing in shaping Zimbabwe's constitutional and democratic future?
Our program of action, thank you very much. Our program of action is going to be determined by the suffering masses of our country. And we are also inspired by those who have gone before us. Remember, I said the struggle it started in the past, in the present, and is going into the future. So in the past, we take inspiration. We say, long live the spirit of Neander, long live. We say, long live the spirit of Lenmo Judah Jongwe, long live. We say, long live the spirit of Blessed Runes Geza, long live. We say, long live the spirit of Morgan Richard Chankrai, long live. We say, long live the spirit of Josiah Magamatongo Gara, long live. And long live the spirit of all genuine revolutionaries who have gone before us. So if you did it, why can't we do it? So we are getting the inspiration from the past. We are also getting the inspiration from the present. We are also feeling that we have a duty to create a better future. We don't want to be seen as people who are on the wrong side of history by the people who will come after us. So our program of action is coming, and we are already in the process of engaging people. Already we have lined something, but remember, to the press, we don't disclose the strategy. We don't disclose what we are going to do, but be assured, action is coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we close, let me play the video that you have been in these trenches for long, and your observation about the Constitution has been long standing.
In 2027 December, but what we are doing is called majority of us young people, some of us, we voted in the referendum of 2013, which actually ushered in this new constitution. It's said that we delayed to challenge the amendments to this constitution. Remember, there was an amendment which actually removed the running mates, which actually extended the term of Chief Justice Luke Malaba. As we speak, is a beneficiary of the amendments which was made during his term, and it should not be like that. So we saw that we are leaving ZANU-PF to do whatever they want with the constitution. So now when they are talking about 2030 agenda, we have to challenge it wholeheartedly. We know that they might be doing optics of trying to usher in Tagwire in 2027 December. But what we are doing is called preemptive resistance. We have to resist that. We have to resist the amendment of the constitution, and we are so happy that majority of people are against the amendment of the constitution. It's not only us as National Democratic Working Group and other like-minded people. Even in the ZANU-PF, there's a faction which is against the amendment of the constitution. Not all ZANU-PF people are actually for the amendment of the constitution. So those who are saying no are more than those who are saying yes. So the principle of democracy is simple: the rule by the majority.
Thank you very much. And as I said, everything comes to an end. So even our program is now winding up. But as Tauya has said, he is a servant to all, and he is a master to none. And when I asked him about the vision, he expressed that the vision comes from the people. So as I have been highlighting, your questions, your instruction, your servant is here. He shall always be coming now and again. Then to you, Tauya, you are stepped into leadership at a time when the stakes are high, not just politically, but institutionally. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, your conviction, and your vision. Your final word to the viewers, and particularly, what message are you sending to the young people of Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much. And my final message is I am also inspired by Father Zimbabwe, Dr. Nyongolo Mukabuko Ngomo, who once said, Zimbabwe will not fall, the young people will save it. So he died on the 1st of July, 1999, and his words are very relevant in 2026. 27 years down the line. So I had left him. Long live the spirit of Joshua Ngomo. Long live. We are doing what you told us we should do. So I think in the new Zimbabwe, 1 July should be holiday, Father Zimbabwe Day. I think it should be holiday. So we are saying we are taking inspiration to those guys. So these are my final words. Thank you, Amisha. Your mic seems to be muted, Vamisha.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you very much for reminding me. I want to thank you, Tauya, for sharing your leadership with us, your views with us here, and to our viewers. This has been more than a conversation. It's part of a national reflection on the leadership, youth power, and the future of Zimbabwe. As our slogan on this platform, always stay engaged, stay informed, and never underestimate the power of your voice. And I am your Mija. Until next time, I say good night, good evening, wherever you are.
To help us grow, please give us a big thumbs up, share this video with your network, and hit that subscribe button right now.